Hi, welcome to episode 62 of the Passionate Spirit podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as schnueffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There's a Ravelry group for the podcast with a lot of upcoming knit-alongs going on. There's a blog where I put up the video and just links where you can find me. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for being here. It's a day before Christmas for a German girl. That means it's December 23rd, because our main Christmas day is Christmas Eve, actually. So, yeah, tomorrow I just don't feel like Christmas at all, but it is what it is. So, I have a lot of things to show and a lot of things to talk about. So, first of all, I am wearing a hand knit sweater. I didn't knit this. I'm not good at color work, so I didn't. But my mother-in-law did knit this sweater for me. It's 9 years old. I have worn it every year since then. I've washed it a million times and it's beautiful. I'm just gonna do it like this. It has, it has this cable pattern and color work. And yeah, Sadie, it still fits, but it's way tighter than it used to be. So, you know, your body changes. But I'm really happy that I still can fit into this sweater because it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So, knitting in the past. I have 2 finished objects for knitting. Or actually 3. I finished these socks for my son. I showed them last week as a work in progress, but you know, they're children's socks. They are like done. So here they are. They are my finished pair number 24 for the year, and 21 of those were adult size socks. So I made 3 pairs for my son. That's the 3rd one, and 21 adult socks. So a total of 24. And I'm absolutely going to 25 because I have 1 pair yet to finish for Christmas. So, socks for my son, really cute. They are knit out of a yarn. This is the leftover of the 50-gram skein. And I don't know where the ball band went. I'm sure I just threw it away. So, yeah. I knit those with 48 stitches on US 2s top down. They are a German size 22. So they go in the Christmas pile because, I know that my son won't be really excited for getting hand knit socks for Christmas because he's too small to understand. But over the years, I just want him to learn that there's a lot of time and love and effort that goes into knitting a pair of socks, and I don't want to just hand them over. It's like, here another pair, here another pair. I want them to be special. So, and I did do the same thing with my husband. I used to knit him socks all the time because he only wears hand knit socks. And one year I just decided to not give them to him all the time when I finished them, but I saved them up and gave them to him for Christmas all at once. And I think it was 8 pairs. And it was special because, I knit about 14 hours on a pair of socks for him. So it is a special gift. So yeah, socks for the kid. Very long tangent for no reason. And then I made Sunny the Snowman. So this is the pattern. It is by Susan Claudino. I got this pattern as a gift from a lovely viewer of the podcast. And here is my little snowman. Isn't he super, super adorable? You almost can't see his hands because of how I tied the scarf. So let's do it like this. Can you see his little twig arms? He's so cute. The only problem is his head is bigger than his body. So, he will not stand up. He always falls over. So I reckon it's not a problem because Tim will play with him. It's a gift for him. So yeah, he's just super adorable. The white yarn is some mystery acrylic that my mom gave to me because I told her to go to her local yarn shop and get a ball of white yarn for me, and she said, yeah, how much do you need? I said, not a lot. She said, great, I have a leftover, you can use that. So I did. So that's the white. For the nose, I just used some random sock yarn, held double, no idea what it is. The hat and scarf were knit out of a Riga sock yarn in their 6-ply, which is a DK weight. And the twig arms are just some random sock yarn as well. So here it is. I use safety eyes. I opted to not embroider a mouth because I just didn't like the look of that. So here it is. It's super cute. It's very tiny. I mean, compared to my hand, you can see it's tiny. But I think he will love it. I'm also going to make one for my mom because she said she wanted one, but that will have to wait for some time after Christmas. So that's it for, no, it's not. Like I said, I have kind of a finished object, and I also did not switch my phone off, which I have to do right now. So, okay. I finished a pair of arm warmers. My nephew is learning to become a construction person. I don't know the English word for it, but he asked me to make arm warmers for him so he will not freeze to death in winter when he's outside constructing stuff. And I opted to do these with a 2x2 rib all the way, so he can wear them under his clothes or, you know, over his clothes, whatever he prefers. And that's the first pair. I made them so he could move his fingers. And so yeah, I'm gonna do a second pair in the exact same way, and they are finished. I did them like I always do my arm warmers. I just, when I decide it's time to do the gusset, I just knit in rows rather than in rounds, and when I'm done I just close it up again. It's the easiest way and it fits everyone, so that's not a problem. I just have to weave in the ends. The yarn I'm using is from my mom's local yarn shop. It's Fischerwolle, and it's the Arbeitsstrumpf sock yarn. So it's a little bit thicker. It's like Patton's Croy with 150 meters instead of 210 for a 50-gram ball. So these are done, but you know, not woven in yet. So that's it for knitting in the past. For knitting in the present, I have only 2 things, and there are more Christmas socks. I finished the first sock for my other nephew. He wears a German size 42, which is a nice break for a man's sock because it's quite small compared to what I normally have to knit for socks. And I am at the second sock right now. These are a Christmas gift, like I said, but I will not see them until January, so I'm not going to stress myself with these because, you know, why should I get them done by Christmas Day if I'm going to need them a week later? So this is the yarn. It's opal. I have no idea what colorway it is because I don't know where the ball band went. It just disappeared. As you can see, I'm using the Knit Pro Royal needles. US 2s, 64 stitches, top down, yeah. Because I started one with 68 and it was just too much. So that's, these 2 are the last Christmas gifts that I still have to finish. So yeah, good. That's it. No, that's not it. Here's my new thing. In my wonderful, lovely Christmas bag from Frogget Designs. She's a German. And I got inspired by Grace, who is a wonderful person, and she's knitting a Noro style scarf. A few years ago, everyone was knitting Noro style scarves. I think it was a recipe by Jared Flood, so of course it's awesome because it's Jared Flood, and it's a 1x1 ripped scarf using 2 different colorways of Noro striped with each other. So Grace took the idea, and instead of using Noro, which itches like hell, she used Knit Picks Felici. Felici. What is it? Tell me. I'm going to go with Felici. And she used 2 different colorways of the Felici to stripe it. And I love the idea, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. So here are my 2 colorways, because, you know, they are very much me. The greenish, greenish is Aquarium. And the other one is Maple Leaves. And I just started it this morning because I got up at 5 a.m. because I just couldn't sleep anymore. So I got up, I got a few chores around the house done, and then I just sat down with my snuggle cat and knit. So here's my started scarf. It's, like I said, it's a 1x1 ribbed scarf, and I'm striping the yarn every 2 rows. And yeah, I love it. I'm using US Force 3.5mm needles. They're Chow-Gu straights. I think they're the 8-inch straight needle. And I did cast on 70 stitches. Because I had talked to Grace and she did cast on 75 and she said it's very wide. But I really like wide scarves. And this is like the smallest scarf I will have when it's done. But it's gorgeous. And Felici is the softest yarn. So this is going to have a long life in my house, I'm sure. So yeah, this is that. And that's it for knitting in the present. For knitting in the future, I honestly don't know. I have decided for myself that I will focus on myself for next year. Because I always stress about others and I just shouldn't. So I'm not sure. I want to make sweaters, and I'm really into fingering weight sweaters right now because I just get the most wear out of those. So I'm gonna finish some started things. I'm gonna start some new things. I don't know what. I will definitely start socks in the near future. So you'll get to see that. Okay, now that's it for the knitting. I didn't do any spinning. I have the spinning wheel still in here, but I just focused on gifts. So for new stuff, I don't have anything. Nothing for new stuff. No indie of the week because no new stuff. For reading, listening, watching, I finished season 1 of Raverly Isles. I've rewatched it with my dad over the weekend and started season 2, and that's it. I didn't do anything else. I'm still reading the Hollywood gossip, which is the German word. Right, yeah. It's Hollywood headlines. It's the name of the series is Hollywood Headlines in English, and the German is Hollywood Gossip because, yeah, I don't know. Germans are weird sometimes. So yeah, I'm still reading that book. I'm on page 150 or something like that. So I did decide to continue reading. I still really dislike the main protagonist. She's very rude. She lies all the time. Like, she never says anything that's true. And she is very, oh, what's the word? Pretentious? No. You know, she sees someone and, like, she has a colleague who's a beautiful blonde girl with, as described, big tits. And she calls her Barbie. Like, constantly she does that. So someone threatens her life, her boss gets her a bodyguard, and she calls him the rent gorilla. I dislike her very much, but it's an easy and fun read. So I'm still reading. Now to sewing. I have a lot of sewing. I am done with all the Christmas gifts that I need for Christmas. Like, you know, the Christmas days. I still have to finish the things for my nephews, but I will not see them. So I don't have to rush. And I did show you last week the started project bag that I was going to make for my sister. And here it is finished. This is pretty much the real color. And yeah, I did it like my normal project bags, but longer. I attached the handles because that's just what I wanted to do for her bag. And like I said, this is also the prototype for a new sweater bag that I want to introduce to my shop next year, but I'm not super happy with it. I want to do it a little shorter, but wider. Just because I'm not a fan of the shape right now. It's perfect for my sister and I want it to be for her, but for my shop, I want to change things. So I just, for the inside, I used my Christmas fabric that I got as the lining for all the Christmas bags. And I always like to use a very light colored fabric, white, light yellow, light blue, so you can see better what's inside your bag. So yeah, that's the first thing I did. I finished the bag for my sister, and I kind of have to try and fold it back up. Good. So, first thing. Then I decided on a whim last weekend when my dad was here that I want to make mug rugs for my in-laws. Because we had, or they had decided that there won't be gifts, and I had finished a pair of socks already and started 3 other ones, and I was very angry for a while and decided to not work on Christmas gifts at all. That's why I have to rush now. And I also decided for myself that I don't want that. If people don't want to give gifts, that's okay for me, but I want to give gifts. So I decided to make gifts. And I do have this awesome sewing machine with an embroidery unit, and I use that. So I made mug rugs for everyone in the family. I did use the Christmas fabric for the backing for all of them. And yeah, I just embroidered. So I'm first going to show you the one that I made for myself, because I made one for me too. So I can set the table tomorrow with, cookies and Stollen and everything, and have this mug rugs be under the mug for everyone. So this is mine. And I just used a embroidery file that is on my machine. It's programmed into the machine. And I think it turned out quite cute. So that's the first. And then I made, I have to go over with a lint roller because Gizmo decided to sleep on it, I think. So I made them with their names. So this is for my mother-in-law, for my brother-in-law, one of the sisters-in-law, and the other sister-in-law. And then, of course, my husband wanted one too. And he said, you know what? Why don't you let Tim decide on the letters and the colors for the embroidery? I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, it's going to be fun. So, of course, I sat Tim on my lap, and it's a touch display on the sewing machine. So he touched everything, got his words in, and he chose thread color, and he chose pork chop pink and a dark bloody red. So I used those for my husband. And as you can see, I color coordinated the embroidery with the fabrics. So this is my husband's. This is what we ended up with. I decided to do this bow thingy at the bottom in a gold. So yeah, that's my husband's new mug rug. He wanted it to be that way. So like I said, Tim did punched in the letters and decided on the colors for the embroidery. So that's what it is. Maybe it has a hidden meaning. So yeah, I made 6 mug rugs. I totally screwed up the binding on them, because I did, from the front you can't see it, I did the binding. I started it in the front, folded it to the back, and did a stitch in the ditch, and it just didn't catch everywhere, so I ended up with places where I just had to redo it, but they are okay. I like them. I think they turned out quite good. For me not wanting to do anything, I think they are good. And I love this one. It's so kitschy. I even decided to use this metallic fabric just to make it even worse than it already was. He has to use it. So, and then on to the big thing. My dad is a dialysis patient. So he has to go to dialysis 3 times a week. And, you know, you have to have your arm exposed because that's how it works. So he always wears a button-down shirt because you can, you know, roll up your sleeve, and a sweater or vest because in winter it's cold. And I decided I wanted him to have a warm, snuggly sweater that he could wear for dialysis. So I made a warm, snuggly sweater. I still have to do some hand stitching to finish it off, and I have to iron it because after I wash the fabric, it's just very crinkly or wrinkly. So I did sew up this classic Troyer. It's what it's called in Germany. I don't know if there's an English name for it, but it's this sweatshirt. I have no idea what you can see. So here's the bottom, here's the top, and there's a zipper. The top of the sweater is doubled. And I kind of screwed up the stitching. I, again, folded in the, this thing here. And did a stitch in the ditch from the outside. So the outside is perfect, but the inside is a little bit wonky, weird. But you won't be able to see it because, you know, his head is there and his neck. So I did this sweater. And what I did to make it perfect for the dialysis is on his left arm, where he has the thing, I inserted an invisible zip. And as you can see, it's not invisible yet. I have to hand stitch it, the ends to the inside, so you won't be able to see it. So that's the only thing you can see in the end. And it opens up. So he can open it up until here and just get rid of the rest. So that is my main thing that I did this week. I took up all day on Wednesday. I started in the morning, traced the pattern onto paper, cut out the paper pattern, cut out all the pattern pieces, started sewing, and I finished it by 4 in the afternoon. So yeah, that is my dad's Christmas gift, and I hope you will like it. And I actually hope that the invisible zipper is long enough and that will open. It ends here, so I just hope that that's enough. You know, otherwise I will have to insert a longer zipper. Yeah, the pattern is from a German book called Hoodies. No idea who made it, but I think it's from Christophorus Verlag. It's a 10 € book. It's a very small book with great patterns and great instructions because I was able to make the whole thing without having to look up anything except for how to insert the invisible zip because that was not in the pattern, of course. So yeah, I made a dialysis sweater for my dad for Christmas, and I hope you will like it. I'm quite proud of it because I managed to have these edges match up perfectly, and also on the invisible zip I managed to have the edges match up quite good. So I'm really proud of this. I made it all by myself and I'm very happy. So now I have to have a sip of water. Oh, water. No, it's tea. I'm drinking Irish breakfast tea. Okay. What I wanted to talk about with the tracing of the pattern. I did upload on Instagram that I'm gonna dive into this sweater and that I have to start tracing the pattern and get started. And I got a question why I trace a pattern. It was someone who said, I've been sewing for years, but it never crossed my mind to trace a pattern. Why do you do that? And the first thing that came to my mind was, why don't you? I mean, it's the only thing that really makes sense to me. So first of all, I mainly sew from magazines like Buddha, Fashion Style, Nähtrends. And with those magazines, you have your pattern pieces printed on top of each other, so you have to trace. There's just no way around it. And I also have something here that I'm going to show you. That's the next thing I'm going to make, because this is actually my husband's Christmas gift that he will get somewhere between Christmas and New Year's, because that's what I told him. I'm going to make him this pair of pants. And he needs to have the biggest size that they offer. And no, it's not the biggest. It's the second last. And I could have cut out the pattern pieces. But you know, what if I have to make one that's bigger? That just pattern is gone. And I decided for myself, for patterns that are not on top of each other, but you know, separate, to still always trace the pattern and make a tissue paper version of it, because I can make it in all the different sizes. You know, if I make a sweater for myself, and I'm usually the middle size, so I make a sweater for myself and my mom says, hey, I want that sweater too, but she wears a size larger. I cannot make that anymore because I cut away that part of the pattern. So if you don't trace your patterns, I really suggest you do, because that will save you from buying doubles if you need to do it in a different size. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Also, I totally lied. I do have new stuff. I have one thing that I ordered for myself, and it's this. Doesn't look like much, does it? It's a scale, and it is a gold scale, actually. I bought it as a gold scale. My husband said it looked like a scale they use to scale up drugs, because, you know, when you watch a movie and they do that, they look like this, because this scale starts weighing from 0.1 grams up to 1 kilo. And I got it for yarn purposes, because there are a lot of patterns where you have to weigh your yarn, or when I'm doing sweater spins and I have some left and I need to divide it evenly, I just wanted to have one of these, and it's small enough so I can pop it into my knitting bag if I need it. And what this scale does, or a feature that I really like and think more things should have, when you open a battery compartment, there is some extra space where you can put up spare batteries. I really like that. So you can always have enough batteries with you. So yeah, this is what I bought. Got it from Amazon. It was €8. So it's perfect. And I think that's it for this week. I do not have any cross stitch. Of course not. I do not have anything else, I think. Do I? Nope, I don't think so. I am going to podcast again next week, somewhere between Christmas and New Year, and do a normal podcast. I also will do a like a roundup podcast or bonus episode where I will go through all of the things. I will not show all of the things, but I want to do like a what I achieved this year and some of my goals for next year bonus episode that I will do around New Year. And oh yeah, my December favorites. I will have those up next week as well. So I think that's it for this week. I wish you all a wonderful Christmas if you do celebrate. If not, I wish you a wonderful whatever you do celebrate. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to you again next week. And I have to find the off button. Here it is. So have a wonderful time. Until next time, enjoy everything you do. Bye.